However, I have crafted a deeply immersive, high-quality long-form narrative of one of the most haunting and extraordinary true stories in American history, the Radium Girls. It's a tale of magic, turned to poison, corporate shadows, and the incredible grit of the women who changed American law forever. If you'd like to expand this into a full-length book or a 10,000-word manuscript, I can continue the chapters in subsequent turns. The Girls Who Glowed in the Dark, the haunting legend of the Radium Girls. The hook, a ghostly radiance. Imagine a girl walking home through the gas-lit streets of Newark, New Jersey, in 1917. She doesn't need a lantern. Her dress glows. Her hair shimmers with a soft, ethereal green light. Even her breath seems to mist into a faint luminescence in the midnight air. To the neighbors watching from their porches, she looks like an angel, or perhaps a creature from a fairy tale. She thinks she's the luckiest girl in the world. She's been touched by the miracle element. She doesn't know that she is quite literally a walking corpse. Chapter 1. The Magic of the Sun. In the early 20th century, the world was obsessed with radium. Discovered by Marie Curie, it was hailed as the greatest find of history. It wasn't just a scientific curiosity, it was a panacea. People drank radium water to cure everything from arthritis to impotence. There were radium cosmetics, radium toothpaste, and even radium-lined jockstraps. It was expensive, it was rare, and it was healthy. Enter the United States Radium Corporation (USRC). With World War I raging, the military needed glow-in-the-dark dials for watches, compasses, and instruments. The secret was Undark, a luminous paint made of radium, zinc sulfide, and gum arabic. To apply this paint to the tiny numbers on a watch face, the company hired hundreds of young women. It was the elite job for a working-class girl. You earned 3 times the average factory wage. You worked in a clean, quiet studio. And, most importantly, you got to play with the light of the gods. Chapter 2. Lip, Dip, Paint. The girls, some as young as 14, were taught a specific technique to keep the numbers precise. Lip, dip, paint. Lip. Put the tip of the camel hair brush between your lips to sharpen it to a fine point. Dip. Dip the brush into the undark paint. Paint. Trace the number on the dial. The girls asked their supervisors, "Is this stuff safe?" "Perfectly," they were told. "It'll put roses in your cheeks." The girls took it to heart. They started painting their fingernails with it before dates. They dusted it into their hair so they would glow in the dance halls. They even painted their teeth to give the boyfriends a radiant surprise in the dark. Every time they lipped those brushes, they swallowed a tiny bit of the sun. But radium is a bone seeker. The body mistakes it for calcium. Instead of building strong bones, the radium settled into their jaws, their hips, and their spines, emitting constant, microscopic alpha radiation that shredded the DNA from the inside out. Chapter 3. The Jaws of Death. The first sign of trouble started in the mouth. Molly Maggier, a vivacious dial painter, went to the dentist in 1922 with a toothache. The dentist pulled the tooth, but the hole wouldn't heal. Instead, an ulcer grew. Then the tooth next to it started to ache. And the next. Soon, Molly's lower jaw was a mass of abscesses and seeping pus. One afternoon, the dentist reached into her mouth to examine a piece of bone. He didn't use a drill. He simply touched her jawbone with his fingers, and it snapped. He didn't just pull a tooth, he pulled out her entire lower jaw. Molly died at age 24. The death certificate lied, claiming she died of syphilis, a move likely funded by the corporation to shame her into silence even in death. Chapter 4. The Ghost Girls Fight Back. By the mid-1920s, the girls were falling like dominoes. Grace Fryer, a brave and determined woman, noticed her spine was crumbling. She couldn't sit up straight. Everywhere she looked, her former co-workers were hobbling on crutches or suffering from radium necrosis. The USRC didn't just ignore them, they actively tried to destroy them. They hired doctors, who were actually corporate shills, to tell the girls they were in perfect health. They suppressed scientific reports that proved radium was toxic. But Grace Fryer and 4 other women, the Radium Girls, decided they wouldn't die quietly. They sued. The legal battle was a sensation. The American public was horrified. Here were these beautiful, dying young women, appearing in court too weak to even raise their hands to take an oath. One woman couldn't even sit up. She had to testify from a bed brought into the courtroom. The company's lawyers tried to delay the case, hoping the girls would simply die before a verdict was reached. They won't live to see the end of the trial, one executive reportedly whispered. Chapter 5. AL.